NEXA Mortgage Revenue Share properly explained, everything you need to know. So my goal today in this video is to share with you everything I possibly can so that you have a proper understanding of how the NEXA Revenue Share compensation plan actually works. You see, in talking to loan officers across the country, almost all of them, in fact, I would say 99.9% of them, have no clue how the revenue share model works. And what is really interesting is in talking to originators inside of the company, most of them don't know how it properly works as well, right? So today I'm gonna do two things. First, I'm gonna take you inside the NEXA Revenue Share compensation plan and show you real numbers and real examples. Secondly, I'm gonna share with you two real specific nuances about the NEXA Revenue Share model that most people don't know about, and one of them is what got me to come here to NEXA Mortgage. So stay tuned and we're gonna get after it right now. Hey everybody, this is Paul Dunn with NEXA Mortgage. And if this is your first time at the channel and you want to know everything that there is to know about work and earning, growing, and building a business at NEXA Mortgage, then go ahead and click that little subscribe button, tap that little bell, and you'll be among the first to be notified anytime I drop a new video. Now, if you're thinking about joining NEXA, I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to pick the right sponsor. So if you want to know everything there is to know that what our team here at NEXA does that can help you grow your business that's different than what other folks are doing, then go ahead and shoot me off a text message, give me a call, send me an email, or use that link down below and schedule a private one-on-one consultation so that we can do a deep dive to see if NEXA is a good fit for you. Okay, so let's dig into the NEXA Mortgage Revenue Share compensation plan. So when Mike and Matt decided to create this plan, I think one of the things that they wanted to do was allow you to treat your business like you owned your business, like you owned a brokerage. And if you owned a brokerage, what would you want to do? Chances are you would want to attract agents to your company and help grow it. So the beauty of this is you have the ability to grow your own brokerage inside the brokerage nationwide and not have any of those massive expenses that come associated with the brokerage. And so when Mike and Matt went out and built the revenue share program, they really modeled it quite a bit after the eXp Realty program, which has been amazingly successful, and within a few years grew eXp Realty from 2,400 agents to about 86,000 agents right now. But there are three big differences between the eXp Revenue Share program and the NEXA Revenue Share program. And I think they are huge and quite hugely in favor of what we're doing over here at NEXA for our originators. Number one, eXp Revenue Share goes 7 levels deep. Now here's where it differs. NEXA Revenue Share only goes 3 levels deep, but there's some really big nuances, some big difference between how those levels work and compensate you. And I think it's a big advantage for us over here. And you're gonna see exactly why in just a minute. And number two, eXp Realty has an annual cap. That means once their agents cap out, you no longer earn revenue share for the rest of that agent's year, right? Until it resets again on that annual basis. And so NEXA resets that cap on a monthly basis, which means once that LO hits their cap, you just have to wait till the beginning of the next month and that cap resets and you start earning that revenue share all over again. It's like having 12 revenue share periods in a year instead of just one. So number three, having 12 revenue share periods in a year instead of just one is like the eXp model on steroids. And here's why. At eXp Realty, my number one, if I have somebody on my top tier and they're a top producer and they cap out and they do fabulous things, they're worth about $2,800 a year to me. If they stick around for 10 years and cap out each one of those 10 years, they're worth about $28,000 to me over that 10-year period of time. Now, here's where the steroids on revenue share come in. At NEXA Mortgage, if I have a loan officer who basically caps out, does $3 million in transactions a month, they're worth about $36,000 a year to me. If they stick around for 10 years and they hit that cap, they're doing $3 million a month every month for 10 years, they're worth $360,000 over that 10-year period. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And that's one reason why for my team, it's so important for us to help those MLOs that come and join our team to start building their downlines as fast as possible. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the NEXA Revenue Share income calculator. So they call it the passive income calculator too. And what you're gonna notice is you've got 3 levels here, downline 1, downline 2, and downline 3. But what's important to know about the downline is that you need to have a minimum of 5 producing originators in downline 1 to open up level 2. And then to open up level 3, you have to have a minimum of 10 producing originators in downline 1 to open up that level 3. And that's why it's so important for us to help you grow that downline so that you can open up those additional streams of revenue. Now let's head on over to the compensation plan right here. And by the way, we do have another video coming out that's going to go into a lot more detail in the whole compensation. But what I want you to know here, or see here, is where the cap is. And so we talked earlier about the cap being $3 million a month. So basically, if an originator produces between 0 and basically $3 million a month, they're going to get that 220 basis points. You're going to get 10 basis points in addition to that. Then whoever brought you in will get 10 basis points, and the person above them potentially 10 basis points too. So remember, it goes 3 levels deep. Everybody gets 10 basis points as long as they qualify, right? And so we'll talk about that in just a second. But once your MLO hits that $3 million mark in production, they get 275 basis points. So they get the whole thing and not just the 220. Now, if you want to thrive in this company and build exponential wealth, you really need to understand this model and understand it well, because most originators don't. They focus on getting loans and they focus on getting maybe a couple LOs at their top level. But I had a talk with an originator yesterday and he asked me about production. I said, you know what? Production is great, but you get paid one time on that loan. If you bring in 10 LOs on your top level, you get paid every month on that production. So it's really important to build that downline. And this is just another reason why it's so important to pick the right sponsor when you come to join NEXA Mortgage. Okay, so now let's take a look at the example of you. Let's say that you come over here to NEXA Mortgage and you love it so much, you told one of your LO friends that you've worked with in the past, and they jump ship and come join you here at NEXA Mortgage too. So you've got one producer in your downline. So this is the calculator here, and we're not going to look at this side at all. We're not going to look at this side at all. We'll look at those in a different video. All we're going to look at today is the passive income, the downline. So again, here's the one person right here that you've brought into the company. And let's say that their average production is just 300 grand a month. I mean, that's maybe a deal, maybe less than a deal, right? And so if their average production is 300 grand a month, they're worth about $300 a month to you, or $3,600 a year. But let's say that they're a little bit better than below average, and they produce maybe, let's say, $1.5 million a month, right? Then all of a sudden, they're worth about $1,500, or not about, but they're worth $1,500 a month to you, or $18,000 a year. So you can kind of see how this can stack up. And if you've got, let's say, 10 people on your top line, that becomes some real money right there. Okay, so we're not going to go there yet. But you can see that downline 2 and downline 3 are both still red in this. And that is because to open up downline 2, you need to have 5 folks in downline 1. But let's say that you still only have the one person. Let's say you brought in Susie to the company and that's it. You stopped introducing people, but Susie went crazy and she started bringing in a bunch of folks too. So you're not going to get paid on her downline until you've got 5 producers up here. And again, that's really important to make sure you join under the right sponsor so that you get the help you need to get to those 5 or 10 folks on your first downline. So now you have 5 people on your first downline. And let's say that Susie's one of them. She went crazy and she introduced one person here to NEXA Mortgage, right? And we're just going to say everybody's doing about $1,500 or $1.5 million a year, right? So you're getting paid on this level, you're getting paid on your second level, and each person is going to produce about $1,500 a month for you, which brings you down to about $9,000. Let's say that this guy right here, that's John. John introduces Bob. Well, you're not getting paid on Bob until you get 10 up here. So even though he might be a $3 million a month producer, you're not getting paid any revenue share on Bob. So again, that's why it's so important to come back up here and open up all 3 levels and get 10 producers in your top level, right? Because then all of a sudden now you've got Susie down here, she brought somebody in, and then she brought in Bob, and so there's Bob down there. So just by having that 10 at your top level, and even just one person in those downlines, downline 2 and downline 3, that opens you up to about $18,000 a month if they're producing $1.5 million. And you're going, Paul, no, I don't know anybody producing that. They only produce about 750. Okay, so let's just change this down to 750. You're still making pretty good money off that. So let's take a look at something else. Let's just, for fun, say that the people on your top line aren't as good as you, but with our help, they can get maybe to 5 in that top downline. And let's say that that downline introduces 5 in your downline 3, and they're only doing $750 a month. That's some serious numbers right there. But let's take this up a notch. Let's say they're doing 1.5 million a month. That's some real numbers. And you can see how it's so important to grow that top line and then help the people below you grow their downline too. And again, like I said just a short while ago, if you want to grow exponential wealth and really do great things at this company, it's really important to understand this model. So let's take a look at those 2 nuances we spoke of earlier. Number 1, it's an exit strategy. So let's take a look at your current mortgage company. Let's say 5, maybe 10 years down the road, you decide that you want to retire and never want to write another mortgage in your life. Your income goes to 0. Unless you're fortunate enough to have a tiny 401k or something, then you might get a little bit of income. But after 5, 10, 15, even 30 years of work and dedication, your income goes to 0. And that's not good appreciation for all that time that you've put into the company. So let's take a look at NEXA. Let's say 5, 10 years from now, you decide you are done with loans. You never want to write another one. So you retain your revenue share. You don't even need to keep a mortgage license. So if you're like many of our partners over here at NEXA Mortgage and you're making 10, 20, 30, 70, even $100,000 a month in revenue share, and you decide to step away from mortgages, you get to retain that 10, 20, 30, 70, 100 grand in revenue share. And that's a massive exit strategy, isn't it? And that brings me to nuance number 2, and that is it's willable. And that's really what got me here to NEXA Mortgage. Let's say in 7, 8 years, heaven forbid, you pass away, but you have revenue share coming in at 34, 50, 60, whatever thousands of dollars a month. You get to keep that, or your family gets to keep that as long as you put it in the will, and they don't even have to maintain or ever get a mortgage license or ever come to work for NEXA Mortgage. And that provides sort of a safe haven for your family, heaven forbid something does happen to you. So if something unforeseen does happen, then that revenue share takes care of your family as long as those agents are still producing. And no other mortgage company out there will do that for their originators. None. And that's why I'm compelled to share this with you to help you build the business and the exit strategy that you deserve. So hopefully that gave you a real good idea of how the NEXA revenue share properly works, right? And again, it's really important to pick the right sponsor because you want somebody who's going to help you grow your revenue share as well as grow your business. So if you want to know what our folks here at NEXA are doing differently than other teams at NEXA, then go ahead and give me a call, send me a text message, a DM, or even use that link below and schedule a one-on-one personal consultation, and we can see if NEXA is the right fit for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.